Morning, everyone. I'm very pleased to be here today at VRIC to present our CanAlaska discovery story. We're truly working on an ultra high-grade uranium discovery that is less than 1 year old. It's really about powering the future, and I'm going to talk a little bit about today how we're delineating, expanding, and unlocking that shareholder value and what is our Pike Zone near the McArthur River operation of Cameco's. I'm going to make some forward-looking statements, obviously, but in 2024, we had an incredible year. We came through expanding on the mineralization, continuing to drill some ultra-high-grade mineralization. It remains open, and we've developed new targets. So we're looking for pearls on a string, looking for those pods of high-grade mineralization that could truly make this a Tier 1 asset. Our partner is Cameco Corporation on this project. We own a majority interest of 85.8%. Cameco holds the other pieces of this project. So we put the right strategy with the right team, with the right assets, so Tier 1 jurisdiction with a team that's been out there and done it before. Cameco and Orano trained for the most part, really global discovery leaders in the uranium space. And then we put them on this large portfolio, 500,000 hectares of land in the eastern Athabasca Basin. It's about fourth largest in the space in Saskatchewan. And our partner again on this project is Cameco. We have other partnerships with Denison, so some major players. And right next door to all of this critical infrastructure that is around McArthur River in this case. So we are a well-structured company. We're well-financed, and the share price is moving. So as of a few days ago, about 84 cents was our price. That gives us a market valuation of about $150 million. And importantly, we have $23 million in the bank. So we're very well financed for everything that we want to do in 2025 on the Pike Zone. And you can see our share price has been moving fairly well in the last 4 or 5 months. So we are poised for an incredible 2025. Institutional holdings have been increasing significantly as we've told this story. As of September, about 25% institutional. That has, in fact, increased over the last number of months as well as these institutions start to position themselves for what is the best uranium discovery story on the planet in our view. So myself, I'm CEO for CanAlaska Uranium, over 30 years in the nuclear space, most of it with Cameco for 25 years before joining CanAlaska a little over 6 years ago. My VP of Exploration joined me from Cameco. I've known him well over a decade. Together we've rebuilt this company in the last number of years, and it's him and his technical team that have gone out and made this discovery. At the board level, we're led by Karen Lloyd as chair, ex-Cameco marketing, corporate development, marketing. So she used to move the pounds for Cameco around the world into those long-term contracts, very knowledgeable in the space. We recently added Shane Shercliffe, a good friend of mine from Cameco. We worked together for many years on a global scale on the M&A side for Cameco. So very well versed in the industry, a lot of experience in the space. Recent news, I'm not going to spend much time on this because it's going to be talked about a lot, but really, Kazatomprom is having trouble meeting production. That's almost 50% of global supply. That's well known. More recently, a number of weeks ago, Cameco and Kazatomprom announced that there's a halt to production at JV Inkai for permitting reasons, and we'll see where that works itself out. Fundamentals are still very strong. You've got Microsoft, Amazon, among others, realizing that clean energy is needed for their data centers, their AI that's coming down the pipe. It's going to be largely based on nuclear. They're recognizing that fact, and they're saddling up to these large reactors or looking at SMRs, or small modular reactors, as a big piece of the future. I don't worry about spot price coming from Cameco. I understand it's relatively irrelevant. What you need to be looking at is long-term contracting. And in the last 6 months, the long-term contracting, those 10-year contracts in the uranium space are so critical to companies like Cameco, are starting to move. They've moved from low 60s to now 80. That's about a 35% increase in the last 6 months. No one's really paying attention to, but this is the signpost that you need to be watching. Do not worry about spot price. Worry about long-term contracting. That is what is going to build these new mines, these new operations to fill the pending supply gap, and ultimately it's going to lead to more exploration. So this is the factor you want to watch, not spot price. So our portfolio, a little bit about CanAlaska. We are an active explorer and project generator. We do generate a lot of projects. We don't explore most of them. They're for deals. They're preserved for opportunities for our shareholders to realize value from allowing other companies to move this portfolio forward toward discovery in what is a high-risk discovery environment. We are in the eastern Athabasca Basin, again, over 500,000 hectares in the east. Why? A, the geology is probably the best. B, we're up against the infrastructure of Cameco, Orano, Denison. 65 million pounds of milling capacity in this part of the Athabasca Basin that clearly needs another Tier 1 asset post-Cigar Lake and McArthur River production. So the projects that we feel have the best opportunity for discovery we focus on, like West McArthur, and we're going to start talking about that in a second. So West McArthur is, again, that joint venture with Cameco. We've increased the budget this year to $12.5 million. That's a 67% increase year over year. So we are aggressively exploring this project that is right adjacent to McArthur River. We're going to have a ton of news flow this year from drilling programs. Again, West McArthur, $12.5 million. Our partner, Nexus Uranium, which I'll talk about toward the end of this presentation, is going to be drilling about $5 million of work on our Cree East project as part of a $19 million option agreement that they signed about a year ago. So that's going to get moving. So there's a lot of drilling coming through the winter and summer in the Athabasca Basin. This is going to be roughly pushing $20 million of work in our portfolio in the first 8 months of this year. So here's our project. The Pike Zone discovery is 15 kilometers away from the McArthur River mine. McArthur, shown here on the right, that is 750 million pounds of uranium at McArthur River. Has 14 years of mine life left. Remember that, 14 years of mine life left. That's important for our strategy. That road on the right goes down to the Key Lake Mill. We are that close to the critical infrastructure of Cameco and Orano, and they're one of the Tier 1 operations on the planet that is McArthur River. Ideally located with the right partner in what is a very prolific corridor already. That's the C10 corridor shown here on the left. So what have we been doing in 2024? We've been drilling ultra-high-grade uranium. These are grades and thicknesses you only see at projects like McArthur River, maybe Cigar Lake, but let's focus on McArthur River. We're getting several meters to tens of meters of 10+% uranium in these drill holes consistently. This is ultra-high-grade on a global scale. This is rare. The last time we've seen anything like this is ISO Energy in 2018, NextGen in 2014, before that Rough Rider in 2009. This is a rare event. Some might call it a unicorn event, but we've been drilling incredible grades and thicknesses here, over 100 meters of strike length, really mineralization over 200 meters, with about 2 kilometers of untested target space here peripheral to this mineralization. Just an incredible result that is very rare to occur on a global scale. So we're going to focus on that this year with 3 drills. They're turning right now, working to the left, working to the right, filling the gap between. And I talk a lot about McArthur River. So what is McArthur River? It's made up of 7 discrete zones of mineralization, one of which is host to 350 million pounds of uranium that is Zone 2. That zone at McArthur River is the size of a North American football field, or less. That's 350 million pounds of uranium. This is important to understand. If we take this footprint, it gets our drilling plan. Remember, we're drilling grades and thicknesses here like McArthur River at Pike Zone. This is what it looks like. That's an 80-meter long box, 20 to 25 meters wide, going 65 meters into the basement on the right. If we fill this with drill hole information like we've been drilling in 2024, those ultra-high grades, we are looking at potentially a Tier 1 asset here by middle of this year. That's north of 100 million pounds of uranium at a very high grade in a small space. We have a second zone forming up. We hit this late in the summer. This is another zone of mineralization, ultra-high grades as high as 24% uranium at the unconformity. We have indications in our geology for the structure pointing us downtrend another 100 meters. Pearls on a string. We could be onto a Tier 1 asset here and know that by middle of 2025 based on the drilling plan that we have in place. So we are advancing this project. We're delineating and expanding it. These are the drills as of about 2 weeks ago on site. That's our footprint. Very limited footprint in terms of getting this mineralization identified. Strategic opportunity. Why are these assets ideally located? Because Cameco and Orano have a reserve depletion problem. McArthur River is done producing uranium in 14 years. 14 years. 10% of global supply offline. That's not even factored into the market price yet. The time is now. So part of that opportunity lies in our partners like Nexus Uranium. We do a lot of deals as a project generator. Nexus Uranium is a $19 million deal we signed earlier this year. They're going to start drilling that project literally in 2 weeks' time. It's a great project, has all the indications of a Cigar Lake analog in terms of its alteration, even some mineralization local nearby. It's an incredible opportunity in front of our shareholders for some great news flow. We are truly on this early path. This is a Lassonde curve. It's nothing that's not known to anyone. However, this is the next-gen story where they sat at 50 million market cap for a number of months until the market realized they had a Tier 1 asset north of 100 million pounds. They quickly moved to over $1 billion in under 12 months. This is the story in the Athabasca Basin, how fast the valuation is created. We're currently 150 million market cap. If we can prove a Tier 1 asset, we should be significantly higher by the end of this year. So we are truly advancing a new ultra-high-grade uranium discovery in the eastern Athabasca Basin with our partner Cameco. That material that you see in my hand there is 70% grade. That is steel in a box. It's heavier than lead. That's what we pulled out in 2024. Incredible stuff. So I would welcome you to join us for this discovery journey as we move it through 2025 at our West MacArthur project. Thank you.